Okay, what's up, guys? Give me just a second to get all these notifications off my screen here. And we're going to talk about residentials today and how they affect your gameplay, because I'm seeing way too many people giving really bad advice to people. And I want to clear this up for those of you so that you guys don't end up in a really shitty situation, because this is one of the things that you guys cannot fix once you fuck up, okay? Now, for a lot of you guys have already leveled up to a point where you need to restart anyways, okay? But we're going to be apparently pulling over for... Hang on just a second here. We're going to be talking about what happens to those of you who choose to level up and bulldoze. All right, so here's the thing. Remember when I told you I made every mistake that there was? And I had to learn the hard way from said mistakes? Okay, so what I did was, when I first started playing, let me see how many of you are on here now. 6? Okay, cool. When I first started playing, I started with... Let's see, I started back when it was the education season. So I think that was season 4, if I remember right. It might be 5 or 6. I don't know. I think it was season 4. Anyways, that's irrelevant. Point is, I did an upgrade, and I'm like, okay, it's asking for, $200-300 in items, and it's giving me $1,500 in coins in return. Like, well... There's one way to fix that. I'll just kill them. So I just bulldoze some bitches. And I'm like, all right, now you paid me. Now you go, And so here I am, and I've got this system down where I'm refreshing my upgrades to only upgrade things that were less expensive. Now, as I leveled up, of course, what do you think happened? Yeah, shit hit the fan real quick. Because what's going to happen is you're going to level up past a certain point, and when you get to said point, you have nothing accomplished. You've been bulldozing all of your work and all of your money. Now, granted, up until that point, you've been getting paid for it, right? So it's not like it's really cost me anything. We've been getting paid for it. So, but there becomes a point where that's when it turns, and it stops benefiting you, okay? Now, the reason that this is such a problem is because once you level up past a certain point, you're not going to be able to find any rares. You're not going to be able to win the contest. You're going to have so many things unlocked. You're not going to know what to do with yourself. You're not going to be able to finish an epic project because your storage is going to be so fucking low that you're going to be sitting there with 97 things unlocked and 150 space total to hold everything. And you're going to be sitting there going, uh-oh, I fucked up. And you're going to look down, and you're not going to have anything built. And what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to convert any homes to Epic because you don't have any to convert. And that is really, really, really hard on you, especially very early on. Now, the reason that I wrote the Missy's Building Guide the way that I did was so that you guys wouldn't be in a shitty situation later, because essentially it really doesn't matter if... Let's say you don't bulldoze anything, okay? Let's say that you decided that you're just going to build whatever. And you built Latin homes, and you built these new townhomes and stuff like that. And you hit level 30, maybe 33, 34, whatever. Let's just say you even have 500 storage. Now what? Now what's going to happen to your game if you've been building shit that's not regular residentials? Well, you can't do any epic projects on anything that's not regular. So you have what you have. Then you have to level up in order to get more, right? So let's say that you have 10 regular residentials that you haven't bulldozed, that you, like a dumbass, not knowing, right? Maybe you did silver and bronze on those. So now you're sitting there and you've got no epics that you can convert to gold. You're really low on coin. Your storage is shit. And you're just sitting there going, well, gee, now what? And these are the problems that high-level players face. I mean, and then what ends up happening is, I'm going to tell you right now, on the beginning of this stream, you guys saw me buy that deal that pops up, the dozer deal. You know why I did that? Because I don't have a choice. I have no choice. Okay, at my level, if I want to play, that's what I have to do. So if you don't want to be like that, if you don't want to be in that situation, then don't do what I did. You know, it's very simple. Make better choices than I made, right? Now, lucky for you guys, I'm here to tell you not to fuck up. And I'm here to tell you what you're doing that's fucking up your game. Like, if I wanted to, let's say I want to upgrade my land on limestone. Do you know how many dozer I find on Global in a week? Maybe 2 in a week. And that's if I'm busting my ass looking for them. And normally, it's usually after I've clicked on something else. It's not normally something that I see on the global market being advertised. So my VU, it comes from my Maxis. Almost all my rares come from either trading or opinion bubbles or Daniel. Nothing really comes like that. See what I'm saying? Nothing really comes from global for me and for many high level players. Now, that's the point. So I opened up Facebook yesterday. And this girl is on there, and, you know, I talked to her quite a bit. She was in my comm training course for a while. And I see that she had asked a question because she's in a lower league. She had like 40 tasks left, and there was like 10 hours left of the contest. And she was asking which tasks she should cancel in order to get something that she could maybe do quick, fast, easy points. And at that point, does it really matter what you cancel? You have like 10 hours left. You've got 40 tasks. You know you're not going to be able to complete half of them, right? So, I mean, given her current situation, she's not going to pay $1 million to do a bunch of tasks at the end when she's in a lower league. And I was astounded at the comment that I saw on that post. The guy told her to do upgrade tasks, and not even just that. That's not even where he stopped. He told her to build the old townhouse because it had 300 pop, which I really don't know what significance that mattered, because then he told her to bulldoze it. And I'm like, what? What? And I'm trying to understand his thought process, you know, because I'm thinking back to, you know, when I would play and I thought like that too, but in this particular situation, it made no sense, right? And so I'm trying to understand his thought process, and I'm questioning questioning if he's on drugs. And I'm just like, what? And he's sitting there saying something like, it's quick, fast points. Okay, stop right there. And this is where a lot of people fuck up. A lot of people. This right here is not worth fucking your whole game up over. Okay? I see way too many of you guys making really bad choices because of this. This is supposed to benefit you. It is not supposed to fuck you up. Okay? If you're in a lower league, don't do it. Why would you upgrade and okay, I've got people in my group. I've got people that have been in my group a really long time, right? And I'm going to tell you right now that they have a weekly amount that they spend out of their paycheck to just participate in this as a high-level player. Not even win, just to participate. And that is where you guys have it wrong. People get clouded by competition, okay? They stop seeing the benefits of what they're doing, and they just see the win. All they care about is the win. And why would you give up? Why would you fuck your game up to say you won Suburban? Who cares? Who gives a shit? You don't even have to fuck your game up to win that. I mean, she could have canceled half the tasks in her list and done just Simoleon's tasks, and she would have won. That's my point, right? So why would you fuck your game up to win Suburban? Why would you fuck your game up to win Mega, even? Okay? That's my point. You want to make equal amounts of sacrifices without completely screwing yourself. And the one way that you can screw yourself in this game, the one and almost only way that you can screw yourself is by leveling up. That's it. Because if you don't level up, you can always fix it, right? But once you start building the wrong types of houses and you go past a certain level point, that's when you can't fix it. If you come to me and you're below level 24 and you've been leveling up the wrong type of houses, that's the one way that you can guarantee to fuck your game up, right? But let's say that you didn't do that. let's say that you built all the right houses, but you've been slacking off for the last 6 months and you haven't found any storage, you haven't been, looking for anything. All you've wasted is your time. You don't have to restart because you haven't fucked anything up yet. The good way to really screw up your game is to bulldoze your work, okay? Now, as you get higher up in level and you've now unlocked everything in the game and competition doesn't matter anymore, then all it is wasting your time, right? So for me, if I wanted to bulldoze all my gold epics, what effect is that going to have on my game? Aside from it's retarded, right? It's going to what? What does that mean for me? It's going to be I'm going to have wasted a lot of my time, but I can build those houses back up without any repercussions other than a waste of money and time. Whereas you guys can't do that because you're low level. It'll really screw you guys up. Every upgrade that you do on your game, you should really seriously think about. Because think about it like this. Every upgrade that you do to a maximum upgrade could have been a gold epic. Now, would you rather be level 24 with X amount of gold epics? Or would you rather be level 24 with 10 houses, 2 bronze, a silver, and a bunch of bulldoze shit? How is that going to benefit you later? It's not. It's really going to screw you guys up. And I cannot believe how many people I see that are still giving out that kind of advice or doing it themselves. Okay, if you're doing Omega upgrades and you're a higher level player, once you're past level 30, it doesn't matter. Sure, you can do the one upgrade and bulldoze. You can do that. But you should be in a position to do that. Not many of you guys are in a position to do that. Right? So if you guys are lower level players, let's say you're level 30, you should build an Omega home and stop. Okay? One upgrade, set it to the side. One upgrade, set it to the side. And you're going to do that, and you're going to go over here, and you're going to see how many it takes to unlock the next lab. You're going to hit your government tab here, scroll all the way over, and it's going to tell you how many homes you need per lab. And you're going to keep doing that until you get however many labs it is that you need. Then you can think about bulldozing shit. After you've got your Omega resources, after you've got your labs. But until then, every time you bulldoze, you're bulldozing $7,000 worth of work, if not more. Right? So then you just got to do it later. And trust me, if you want to play calm competitively after level 30, you need those labs. That's essential. Let me check your... No, I don't. Everything is non-scripted. I've been asked that quite a bit, actually. Back when I first started streaming, I did think about it a little bit, and I was like, okay, what am I going to talk about tomorrow? And then I'd have a list, like a tips list, when I did my tips and tricks video. I had to make a list because it was like 150 tips that I would not be able to remember off the top of my fucking head. But no, I don't script anything. It's all just off the top of my head. You think I could script this shit? Come on now. But I do think about, like, if I see like a post or somebody asks me a question or whatever, I think, okay, maybe tomorrow I'll do a video on that. And then I wake up and I just wing it. Honestly, I think that it works better that way because when I look at a lot of the streamers and stuff that do script their stuff, they're reading from a piece of paper and they stutter and they're really nervous, or they just don't seem like they seem very robotic. Does that make any sense? Like they're just, they don't know how to interact with their audience other than on that script. And I don't work well under that kind of pressure. I would rather just say, fuck it, I winged it, I don't care. But, I guess everybody's different, right? But if anybody has any questions, you can always ask them on the stream. We are going to be doing a little bit of design on this video here because I have to get something done. Yesterday, I was able to buy 2 more of these. Okay, so yes, only regular residential homes can be converted into epic projects, and they have to be maxed out. So let's say that you unlocked a regional map and you want to convert it to an epic project, right? like you want to convert a home on there. You need to upgrade a regular residential home all the way to a maximum upgrade, and you have to have coverage for whichever category you desire, right? So if you wanted to have a mountain category epic and you're on, let's say, the Green Valley map, you're not going to be able to do that because there is no mountain category. So wherever you have coverage, if you wanted to do education, I have to make sure I have coverage. Right now I have no coverage anywhere in here. So if I place that down, those homes would have coverage. You'll see a little flying hat, above the house or whatever, and only regular homes can be converted into epics. And that's why it's super important that you guys don't build other types of homes, especially early on. Between levels 1 and 24, you're building the foundation for your city, right? So when I wrote the Missy's Guide, it was all work, no play. From level 1 to 24. It's all, you're just trying to get everything set up, okay? And you're taking everything efficient-wise, your efficiency, you're saying, okay, I know that storage is going to be really important later on, so I'm going to deal with that right now. I know that I need my land maxed out right now, so that's what I'm going to do. Then what you do is you say, okay, essentially I have the fundamentals of the game beat, right? The dynamic, the whole everything when it comes to your city. Your storage is max, your land is max, it's all done. All the hard work's done, right? So now, instead of you struggling and suffering, a game should be fun, right? It should. A game should be fun to play. If you're struggling and suffering to keep your head above water for 6 years trying to make a city how is that fun? It's not. It's miserable, right? And so what do people do when they're miserable? They pull out their pocketbook and they go, you know what? Fuck this. I'm sick of this shit. I'm just going to pay the $2.99 and be done with it, right? And that's where SimCity gets you. That's where they get millions, billions of dollars off this game, okay? And then some of the other people are like, you know what? I'm not pulling out my pocketbook. I don't care about hard work. I'm just going to hack this bitch because I'm sick of this, right? They hack it and they go about their day. Now, other people, they like a sense of satisfaction of saying, no, I actually did it on my own, and I didn't have to hack. But essentially, what's any different from paying your way out, right? If you don't have to. So if you can restart and do it the right way and make all the right choices, in a sense, you can beat the game. A game like this can't really be beat, but in a sense, it kind of can. Because you're saying that I accomplished the most in the least amount of time with the least amount of money spent. And that's what this building guide is all about. It's about making all the best choices. Not I made a good choice or the right choice. I made the best choice. And that's exactly my point. When I saw that guy's comment yesterday, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, that's really bad advice. And that right there would really fuck someone's day up. Right? Because you can't undo that. Once you, and this is the next part of my thing what I was going to talk to you guys about. When I tell people about how they built the wrong type of home and how they screwed themselves and to stop and to only build regulars, like clockwork, 9 out of 10 people, the first thing they ask me is, should I bulldoze it? What? Okay, stop. You've already done the damage. Okay? You already built it. The damage is done. Now you're going to bulldoze the only thing you have to show for? No. Not unless you hate the look of it. I mean, if you hate the look of it and it also has no benefit to your city, then yeah, bulldoze it. But right now, probably not the best option. I guess what you need to ask yourself anytime you make a decision in the game is, how is this going to affect me positively and negatively? And weigh out your options. And essentially, that's all I do with the Missy Guide. Is I just looked at the best possible options available to you to get the best possible outcome that you could have. And it really sucks when you see people, they're on the right track, they're cruising along, they're on a really good track, they go out there, they into the world of the internet, they ask a question, and they get bad advice. And you start seeing them veer off the right track, and some of those veers can be really detrimental to your gameplay. I mean, they can screw you up and make you have to go all the way back from the start. And that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, I can't be out there every time somebody gives you guys bad advice going, no, stop, don't do it. So I'm making a video to tell anybody that is out there that is seeking advice on the internet, don't listen to everything you hear, okay? If I'm telling you not to and they're telling you to, who are you going to listen to? Are you going to listen to the person that's perfected the game, that made every wrong choice, that knows better? Or are you going to listen to somebody who really doesn't know what the hell they're talking about themselves? Right? Yeah, you missed something. Missed my speech on residential upgrades is what we're talking about right now. And what the fuck? Am I overboard? No wonder. I'm sitting over here going, like, selling shit, and I'm like, what the hell? Okay, I see what happened. I bought some dozer, and it overflowed my storage, and now I'm sitting over here trying to collect donuts. Like, what the fuck? You know, a lot of the reason why SimCity doesn't... hang on just a second here. Okay, I've got 16, 50... Where the hell did I get all this dozer? 12, 4... Oh, that's why. Okay. I need stupid dozer exhaust. That's what it was. Okay. At least now I understand what the hell was going on, because that was starting to piss me off. I never looked at my storage. I was too busy talking. Okay. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And about 7 or 8 spots left. All right. So you guys, like I said, just be very careful about the advice that you take. Take it as a grain of salt, because really that's all it is. A lot of the people out there, they think they know what they're talking about and they don't. Or maybe in the pit going, save me, you know. And I know a lot of people don't want to restart, and I know it sucks, and I was way too far into it. By the time I had realized all my mistakes, I was way too far into it. And it wasn't even just my mistakes. It was how to correct them, right? So just because you know that you did something wrong doesn't mean you necessarily know how to not do it again or the best way to go about it. So that's kind of the next thing, is that people make a mistake, and I don't think people understand that the Missy's Building Guide is making the game unbelievably easy, okay? The challenge for you is that's as hard as the game will ever be, is what you're facing between levels 1 and 24. After that, how can you really fuck up? I mean, when you really look at it like this, like I was talking to CPT this morning, and he's got, 5 months in, $15. A lot of you guys have heard me talk about him on my videos. And he's accomplished pretty much every aspect of the game. Now, think about this just for a minute. What do you think his gameplay is going to be like when he finally does decide that he can go past level 29? He's going to be maxed out of everything. Everything's going to be done, right? So, what challenges does he really face? Okay, epics, but all of his regular residentials are maxed out to gold epic. He does gold epics in 15 minutes every time. Okay, I've taught him how. Everybody in my group does epics in 20 minutes or less. Gold, and a lot of it is going to have to be, how much storage you have, how many pointers you have, and how well you prep. But that's just the point. So, what does he have to work towards? He's got his maxes. He's got his land maxed out. He's got his storage done. He doesn't have to pay EA $3,000 a year just to have storage, right? He can enjoy the other aspects of the game. He can unlock his regionals. He can build those up. He can do his hotspots. He can proceed on making a cool map. That's what he can do. He doesn't have to sit there and struggle with his head barely above water just to hold some items. And essentially, that's what happens to everybody, is they get into this vicious cycle of struggling. And a lot of you guys, when I broke down the game, when I started making videos, I thought about what are the hardest aspects of the game for people. You got epics. That's a pretty hard aspect for a lot of people, which that's an easy solution. Okay. I have a way for you to do an epic in 20 minutes or less. Hit gold. No problem. That's a total easy fix. Then you have coin, right? Coin is the next biggest problem for people. And essentially, that is a really easy fix too, because you're going to look at how you make your coin and how you spend your coin. And once you analyze those two fundamentals, you say, okay, look, I'm going to start making my coin the right way. I'm going to stop spending my coin the wrong way. And then I'm going to manage my storage so that I don't have to be in a situation where I have to bulldoze my factories just to finish an epic. Yes, I actually had somebody do that. Couldn't believe it myself. Don't bulldoze your factories to finish an epic, okay? Don't do it. It's not very smart. Now, making all the right items, that's crucial. But that's the next problem, is people don't understand that there's certain ways that you run your production based on what you're doing. If you're running your production for maximum coin, you're going to be running your shops differently than if you're doing an epic project or participating in the contest. Give me just a sec. I got to catch up on the chat here. Okay, so first off, I mean, I just kind of know what they look like, but for example, this one here is a London home, right? It's got that stupid clipboard on it. I've learned the look of them, but it can be kind of a pain in the ass to kind of remember sometimes. Now, what you can do is, when it comes to epic projects, if you want to know what type of epic you have, when you click on it, there's a little tiny icon right there to the left with the wings, and it shows a symbol. And that symbol matches the category of epic that one is, right? So that's the mountain epic, okay? But when you go to, let's say, a different type of house, the next season comes this coming week. So every other season, this season ended. Now, this season, we wait a week. So next season, we won't wait a week, and then it'll repeat. Okay, so if you click here, see how it says residential building? Right there, dead center. And it shows the little residential house. That tells you that that's a regular residential building. Now, if I kind of scroll through, that says Green Valley Zone. You can also tell by the type of rewards that it gives you. So it's going to give me Green Valley coins because that's what it is. It's a Green Valley type of house. So that's how you tell. So you scroll through. Now, after the house is built, when you click on it, hang on just a second here. So this one here is a regular residential. You can tell just by looking at it, right? This is a Green Valley house. They have all kinds of weird-ass names, but you can tell the styles by looking at them. Usually by then you've kind of got a pretty good idea of, you know, what looks like what. Like this is definitely a regular residential. And if you hold down, like, okay, this one's definitely a Latin house because it's short with the boxy colors. If you hold down on it, it says residential buildings, ready for upgrade, abandoned, epics, all that. It'll tell you that type of stuff, right? So, I mean, that's about all you can really do, is learn the layouts, and that's about as close as you can get to understanding what type of houses that they are. Now, sell those. Let's see. Typically what you want to have happen is you want to build regular residentials. Doesn't matter if it's a regional map or not. You're going to build regular residentials up, and then you're going to convert them to epics, right? Now, an epic project actually provides you with something. Okay, so like other buildings, they don't give you anything back. They have nothing, but they give you nothing back in return, and they end up costing you more. For example, if you look really close, it says that the service demand for Green Valley is medium, right? Now, look at the population on my map. Okay, 620,000. Yeah, you can join my group. Water demand is 416 for this map. Okay, I have mostly Green Valley homes on this map. Now, if I go to Hospital map, which is all epic projects with a low service demand, regular residentials have a low service demand. This is just medium. Okay, If I go over here, my service demand is about 100, and it has more people. So if you look at my service demand here, 103, and I have more people. 923,000 people on this map in comparison to what was on the Green Valley map. So, I mean, is it really worth it? You should build epics anytime you can because they actually have a benefit to you. So if you like the look of the epics, build those over anything else. But you are going to need to build some kind of other residence. I mean, it really depends on what you're doing in your game, though. Okay, so anybody who wants to join our group, let me see what's going on in here. Looks like we're full. I don't know who half these people are. Who is that? Give me just a second to kind of catch up here. Okay, are you ready to join in right now? Because I'm going to boot somebody that I haven't seen yet. Looks like we have a lot of active people. Let's see. I'm going to boot out the walkthrough city. Alright, so type in Neverland or type in our club code, RQMKNG, and join in. When you join in, introduce yourself and explain if you have or have not seen the group rules video. If you have not seen the group rules video, you need to watch it, okay? So if you click on my channel, there's a playlist labeled group rules. Watch the group rules video. Now, I am going to be putting up a new group rules video because I kind of want to explain some of the aspects of, you know, how we do war and things like that. No, what? You in war? Okay. Faith, what level, or what league are you in? You say that you're struggling to how to balance playing calm and unlocking beach and mountain and land. So what you're going to want to do realistically is you want between levels 18 and 20. You're going to remain level 18 if you're following the Missy's Building Guide, right? That's what you would want to do. You would want to unlock land when you're in the lower leagues versus in the higher leagues. Now, if you're already in a higher league and you still have land left to unlock, you want to unlock the land as much as you can because those tasks are a bitch. Especially in Mega, they continue to return. They are going to lower your average. They're just better to get done in the lower leagues. Now, when it comes to beach and mountain, you want to save those tasks and those openings for Mega only. Okay, so if you're in Mega and you actually have a shot at winning, then, and only then, should you unlock your beach or mountain. Now, other than that, you really shouldn't even be concerned about beach or mountain because that's an easy thing to accomplish. As far as land goes, I don't know what level you are. If land is something that you can easily obtain. Okay, so hold on. What level are you, Faith? Okay. Olivia? Elliot? I didn't know that was your... Ah, gotcha. I would have never known it was you. I was just talking about you, actually. And all the ways that you're not going to suffer later on. Yep. Okay, so Matla 12 is CPT. Only way I knew it was him. And there's Sheng. Okay, so Faith, epic projects are kind of iffy when it comes to the contest to mayors. So if you have an epic project task that's over 2,000 points, then you're going to want to do it. Now, realistically, again, it would depend on your storage, how prepped you are, but you have 24 hours to complete it. So if you're following my method of how to do an epic project, that should be no problem for you. Now, what you don't want to do is do it in full immediately, because if you get another epic project task, you can essentially complete that task multiple times, being how you're given a total of 200 points in an epic. So, for example, let's say you have an epic project task worth 2,400 points to earn 60 epic points. You do the 60 epic points, maybe you do a couple more tasks, and then that same task comes back. And that way you're able to complete it multiple times without actually completing the epic. Now, if you're unable to actually hit gold because of a money issue or a inventory issue, then I would not start an epic, because you do not ever want to waste a regular residential building and get anything less than gold. And that's saying that you are at a certain level. Now, if you're, let's say that you're above level 30 or whatever, and it really doesn't matter anymore how many houses you upgrade, then and only then would it be acceptable. Now, realistically, efficiently, if you're going for the best possible advice, nobody should be doing anything less than gold if they're below level 43. Once you hit level 43, you can do any kind of epic you want. Why is that? Shang, do not make me kick you out. And do not make me drive to Chicago. Okay. Now, you fucked up my train of thought. Fuck. Thanks a lot, you little ball of sunshine. Level 43. So, when you guys hit level 43, the last item that you're going to unlock, aside from regionals, right, is popcorn. Now, essentially, what makes an epic project difficult and or expensive is the amount of items that you have unlocked. If you look at the best possible way that you should go about things, the most efficient, then you would say between levels 24 and 43, you're going to upgrade only regular residential homes, right? You're going to convert them to only gold epics, because that's the cheapest you will ever be able to do a gold epic for, okay? That's the cheapest it'll ever be, is between levels 24 and 43. Now, once you hit level 43, the cost of your epics and the difficulty rises with the type of items that you unlock and the amount. After you hit level 43, it's not going to be a waste. So let's say that CPT was to do... Let me go to his map real quick. Where the hell are you? Oh, yeah, you're at the top. Duh. Okay, let's say that CPT, being level 24, that he was to convert all of these right here. These are all gold epics, okay? All these mountain homes are gold epics. Now, let's say that he was able to convert half of these to silver, but then was only able to hit gold on the other half. He has to level up, right, before he can convert the rest of them to, or any more, into gold, which every one of those that's silver isn't gold. Therefore, in a sense, he could have had a gold one made for cheaper, except for now, he has to make up for it later when it's more expensive. So would you rather do a silver epic when it's at its most expensive, or would you rather do your gold epics when they're at their least amount of cost? Now, a lot of people wait until they fuck up, they do bronze, they do silver, they finally learn the ropes, and then they're like, okay, now I get the hang of it, now I'm going to go do a gold epic, after they've already unlocked everything, after it's already really expensive. He doesn't have to deal with that, right? And now, when he does finally manage to get to level 43, he'll have so many gold epics already that it really won't matter, right? Because he'll have so many damn epics that coin won't be an issue, and he has nothing but 4-pointers. That's why you follow this guide, because people that have been playing 6 years don't have this much accomplished in 6 years of time. That's what I'm saying. So if you can't hit gold, if you're having trouble hitting gold, you're doing something wrong. That's my point. Now, when you're between levels 24 and 43, that's the cheapest cheapest and easiest your epics are ever going to be. So if you wanted to waste them, transfer, because you can't, I wouldn't be telling you to do all gold if that was the case. And I'm not going to explain that right now, but it would be to do at the contest of mayors. But you can't do that anyway, so it doesn't matter. But that's my point. Let me check up on the chat here. Okay. So, Faith, on your level 18. Hang on just a second here. Let me go back up here. My club name is Neverland. The club code is RQMKNG. Okay. Okay, so are you the one that I told to level up for the mountain sale, and you were also on the Facebook group asking questions for the contest of mayors? Is that who you are? So, if you're in Mega, and anybody here, if you haven't unlocked any of your beach, do not unlock any beach or mountain until you get to Mega. Once you're in Mega, you have a very limited number of expansions you can do on your beach and your mountainside. Only do those tasks in Mega. Do not do them in Metro. Too many people do them in Metro. Now, if you're in Metro and you have a beach expansion task in your list, do not cancel it, because it will come right back. And every time you cancel a task, you have to make up for those points. If you cancel a 2,500 point task, you have to make up for it. Just to get back up to a 2K average, you have to make up for that like you wouldn't believe. Okay? So, and if it just comes right back, then that completely defeats the entire purpose of canceling it. Now, hang on just a second here. The next question that I was going to tell you or answer is, okay, yeah, I know exactly who you are. Well, Shang, we're not talking about what you find useful, okay? Because here's the thing. That could have been a gold, right? And me and you have been round and round about this. Now, here's the thing. You converted one epic into a silver, right? So every 5 days you get one silver token. Whereas if you were in a group that lost war, you would be getting 6 silver tokens every single week, which should be plenty enough. That gold that you wasted and brought to silver, that was a huge waste. I mean, think about what you just said. So every 5 days, right, you get one silver token, right? So if you have 30 days in a month, that's 6 silver tokens in 1 month from that house, right? Which I just said you get in 1 week when you play war. If you do 2 wars in a week on a club that loses, which is what I try to tell people to do, then that would be more effective, would it not? Hang on, you guys. I have allergies really bad. Hold on. I mean, essentially, like I said, where this goes into that good and best, right? So, could you do it if you wanted to mix? Sure, you could, but does it take away from something that you could have had that would have been better? Yes, it does. So if you're talking about the most effective, the best possible question that you could ask here is it more effective to do silver as a lower level player or do gold as a lower level player? Well, I'm going to go with gold. It's at its cheapest point possible. Those gold epics, I mean, me and CPT were calculating them, and I haven't calculated them since he changed to 4-pointers, but when he was using 3-pointers and he was level or he still is level 24. The average cost of his epics were 150,000. Okay? That was not including the cost to start the epic. Now, when I say we calculated the cost of his epic, I'm not saying we were calculating the coins he started with and the coins he ended with. I'm saying that we added up every single item that was donated, right? That is the only way to get the actual cost. And it was about anywhere from 142,000 to 155, 160,000 is where it averages. That's for a level 24 player with all 3 pointers, not 2 pointers and 1 pointers, 3 pointers. That being said, do you really want to waste it? Now, think about this. How much do you think my epics are? Having every single item in the game unlocked, how much do you think I spend on an epic? Probably triple that, okay? I'm going to add up my next one. But that's with, again, 3 pointers. Now, me and CPT, I don't know if you're still on here, CPT, but if you are, next time you do an epic, record it, and let's calculate up your cost for strictly 4 pointers, because that's going to make a huge difference. The amount of times you donate is going to make a huge difference in how much your epics are going to cost. Now, I'm not wasting a very valuable residential upgrade just to have a stupid silver token. Okay, I'm not doing it. Because here's the thing. You have to look at what you're, and this is kind of what we were talking about in the beginning of this stream when we were talking about what you give up for the contest. And that's exactly my point. This right here is not supposed to cost you more than you gain. That is my whole point in the Missy's Building Guide, is so that you benefit from this, not so that you end up paying to play. That's not how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to pay to win, right? So you're supposed to work to win, but to benefit. Now, why does it matter if it says, okay, I won the contest, but I spent $400 to do it? So, you didn't really win anything, did you? Now, I'm not kidding you. There's a lot of people that will spend, okay, so like I had one guy in my group a while back, and we were really close to the legendary chest. And he was willing to spend, like, he has, over the course of the contest, he had spent an obscene amount of cash. And I'm looking at it going, wait a minute here, dude. You're willing to spend, hang on, let me show you. Right here. Okay, so when you get to legendary, it's 120 cash, right? You get 50 here, so it's 70 more cash. And we're just talking about the cash, not all the other shit. He was willing to spend 300 cash to do the assignments so that he could win 120. Where's the logic? People are blinded by the competition. They're blinded by the win. They're blinded by the reward. They don't realize, wait a minute here. If you go into a casino, and this happens all the time, people go into the casino with $100. They play slots. They lose the $100, right? They're down to their last, 20 bucks? They lose 80 bucks, they're down to their last 20. All of a sudden, the game decides to give them a bonus, and they win 120 bucks. And they're like, I just won 120. No, you didn't. No, you did not. You won 20 bucks. That's what you're up. Okay? It gave you back what you put in, and it barely kept your head above water. And so what ends up happening is people think, oh, the game's paying me. No, it's just keeping you in this vicious cycle until you walk out down. Until you walk out without that $100. And that's exactly the point of the contest. It doesn't matter what you put. All that matters is that you're putting in less than what you're getting in return, right? If you're putting in more than you're getting, you're doing something wrong, and it's not benefiting you. So stop doing it. And that's when you decide, okay, I need to stop playing competitively and play it just to benefit me, which would mean that you would do the tasks that don't cost you anything. You don't spend the cash. I can't tell. I'm telling you guys, man, I run a comm training course, and I'm telling you guys, I see thousands of you over the years. I've seen it. And you guys are willing to throw down 10 times what you get in return. and to win it. And once that becomes brought to light and they're like, oh, you're right. Why am I spending 150 VU a week to win 5? Not very intelligent, is it? So, especially if you can win it for doing less. And that's my whole point. If you can unlock the mayor's pass anyways, then what's the point? Why spend more if you don't have to? Now, sometimes I wonder if everybody really thinks this way in real life, or if they're just blinded because it's a game. But can you imagine if we ran the world like the way that people run their games? If we had if you were to look at it like a real life instance and say, okay, I'm going to run this shop this way to make the highest profit. Some of the shit that people make to make money, it just astounds me. Like burgers. You know, how many people make burgers and think that it's actually the good choice to do? That's not a good choice. And give me a second to catch up on your guys' messages here. Okay, so Faith, are you able to get on the game right now? Anybody who actually wants in the group, first off, you got to tell me so that I can make room for you. Then you got to watch the group rules video, which, like I said, I'm going to be putting up a new one of those later on today. Okay, so quick answer to that. How do you build different epics? First thing, if anybody here has not hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button so that I don't have to use this third-party app. Once I hit 1,000 subs, I can just stream straight to YouTube. Okay, next thing. If you go to our Facebook group and you type in SimCity Buildit MissyAnne and you click the announcements section, we put up, Low made it, but put it up on the Facebook group, and he went through and he did a epic of each kind, day and night. Okay, so he showed you what it looks like for the daytime and the nighttime per category, each and every one, because that epic poster that EA has on Google is really crappy, right? So to answer your question, thank you, I appreciate it. To answer your question, when you guys are trying to do a different type of epic, every category has a specific amount of styles, right? Now, I'm going to show you guys something here. Let's say that you look up the SimCity Buildit Epic Project poster. The mountain category is going to give you different style homes than the education category, the transportation, and so forth. So in order to do different types of epics, you have to have the coverage first. So let's say that you want to do an education epic, but if you look on my map, there's no education coverage at all, which means that the epic is not going to appear there, right? So let me see where where is, this here is the regional epic. Okay, so if you guys notice here, I have a regular residential right here, and right here that haven't been converted. But as you can tell, I don't actually have an epic project available on those because they're on something else that I can't find. There it is. This one. So right now it's at entertainment. If I wanted it to go to education, a lot of people would tell you to put all the buildings around it in storage and then put out the one you desire. My advice to you is just to pick the house up, move it far away from everything else, and then put the category you desire. So if I wanted to do education, I put an education building, make sure there's coverage, hit change, pay the coins, and it'll be education. Then I can move that building back, right? That's how you're going to do it. Now, you have to have the coverage first. So somebody asked me the other day, how close does a building have to be to the mountainside in order to pop up? Well, it has to be wherever it has coverage. So if you click on your mountain category, you'll see the green lines like this. right? So you don't have to put the building up against the mountain. That's not how it works. I could put the building up against the mountain right here in this gray area, and I wouldn't get an epic. It has to have coverage. So I can put it all the way to here if I want, as long as it's within the coverage zone. So hopefully that answers the question for the person that asked me that on Facebook. Let me catch up again. Who the hell is that? Is that you, Shane? How many damn things do you have? And yes, I agree. EA sucks. Do I agree? What the hell? Have you not seen my rants? Yes, EA sucks. I don't understand what their customer service, their everything. It just sucks. They have the worst possible service I've ever seen. And they really don't care about the people at all. Whatsoever. Now, I'm going to be prepping for another timed epic, which means I should stop selling my regionals. Actually, no, I'm not. That's not what I'm doing. I'm supposed to be... Once I unlock this last storage unit, then I'm going to be prepping for another timed epic. So I need 5,000... Oh, 2 coins. Jesus. I need 5,000 regional coins on this map in order to get the storage unit here. So for those of you who don't know, when you get to the point where you unlock a regional map, which should not be until your capital is done, you will get the opportunity to buy 20 space to increase your storage once you pay the 5,000 regional coins. So the way that you earn regional coins is through these shipments, these stupid piggy banks, selling your regional items, doing regional upgrades, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. Shipments, upgrades, and the items. Also, anybody here who doesn't already have the Omega services, you really should seriously consider getting those because they will make the biggest difference on your map. And I'm going to talk Omega Guide, the Pop Guide. So essentially, anybody here that doesn't know, if you're looking for a Pop City or an Omega City, the Missy's Building Guide is still the one that you want to follow, okay? Up until a certain point. So everybody follows the same guide up until level 24, right? Then, once you hit level 24, a few things are going to change up until level 29. Once you hit level 29, that part of the guide is what I call the crossroads, and that's when you're going to decide which way you want to go with it. Now, once you decide, okay, I want to do this type of city or that type of city, then you will go to whatever guide that I have written. So if you want to go with the Omega, you're going to go pick up my Omega guide and follow that from that point on. But the point is that everybody is going to follow the Missy's Building Guide as the foundation of their city. Once you hit the crossroads, that's when you decide which way you want to go with it. Either way, though, whether you do an Omega City or not, you're going to want the Omega resources. Now, a lot of people don't know this for, I don't know, maybe they just haven't got to the point with it. But if you look really close, I have Omega services, okay? So I have the water, the power, the sewer, the waste management. Now, these right here don't have a pollution square, and they offer more coverage. Because Omega sits at the highest pop, it has the highest service demand. Now, unfortunately, the service demand being really high for Omega requires so many services, right? So what they did was they said, okay, we're going to allow people to build Omega coverage. It covers 100 capacity, and it goes up 10,000 neocoins every time you purchase it. So I have 2 on each one of these maps. Now, if I wanted to purchase the next one, I do have the 70,000. I could do it. But I need 3 Omega homes before I can even do that, right? So, let's see. I have 9 Omega items. I would have to place out a house, and this is what essentially you would want to do. You'd want to place out a house, do one upgrade, place out another house, and so forth. And that way, once I get to 3, I can go over to a different map, purchase my services, and then be done. Let me check up on your guys's. You make nothing you lose money by making burgers, in my opinion, because technically everything that you make is a profit, right? But if you can make more money making one item versus another, then in a sense, it's a matter of perspective. So let me explain it to you this way real quick. If I want to make one burger, right, I have to make beef, I have to make cream, flour. So now I have to come over here and I have to make the bread roll. Okay? So just right here, it's cut into my donut production. Now, that being said, as a level 18 player, you make $30,400 every 24 hours making donuts, right? Now, you're not going to be a level 18 player if you're making burgers, but you still make a hefty profit, right? It's like $38,000 for a higher level player. So $38,000 of my daily income comes from these 2 shops running donuts. Now, I have to spend 2 hours making 1 beef, 1 hour making 1 cream. That right there is 3 hours in itself, okay? Then I have to make 2 flour. Now I have to come over here and cut into my donut production. So right there, I've already lost an obscene amount of profits. Now, if you think about it, making 1 burger affects every single shop on your damn game, okay? Because you have to make spatulas, right? Which is going to cut into what? By making spatulas, you can't make shovels, which means you can't make anything that you would be making in the garden supply store, which as a higher level player, you would be making gnomes. But you wouldn't be able to make your caps in your fashion store, and you wouldn't be able to make your blue text at night in your furniture store. You wouldn't be able to make hammers, so you wouldn't be able to make your chairs. So now so far you've cut into 4 shops worth of production. Now, over here, you got to make barbecues, right? Which would cut into your TV production, which is the highest profitable item in the appliance store. Then you're cutting, because you can't make tape measures, you can't make your caps anymore either. Which, again, that one right there is an $18,000 production in itself every day. So when you run your production line correctly, this shop here is the biggest ripoff right here, okay? Now, right now, what you could have done is, let's say that you buy cream, and you have bread rolls and cream already available to you. You actually make more money making ice cream. You would be better off making ice cream than making a burger and selling the barbecue than you would making the burger. Now, any overflow of flour, and if you can buy the cheese and the beef, any overflow of flour should be used to make pizza. If you can buy the bread rolls and the cream, you would want to make ice cream bars. Now, me and CPT, we studied this shit extensively. We ran numbers for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm telling you that this whole system falls apart the moment you make a burger. And it's an absolute ripoff. You got to think about all the other things that you're not able to make. And it just screws you up. Okay, for example, you also have to take into consideration all the time spent. So if you look at why is it that a smoothie provides more profit than a donut? Why do we make donuts over smoothies? Because you can't make enough melons in a day to make that many smoothies. So even though that the profit is higher, the reason that the profit is higher, essentially you're adding up all of the time it takes to make one item, right? If you add up the time it takes to make seeds, shovels, saps, melons, veggies, smoothie. Then you divide it by the amount that you sell it for. The smoothie turns a higher profit than the donut. Does that mean you should make smoothies? No. Why? Well, think about it. Why does the smoothie provide a higher profit than the donut? What goes into making a donut? 4 hours worth of sugar, 3 hours worth of textiles. That's essentially what is the big majority of the cost. So when you think about it like that, the majority of what gets made in a smoothie is not made in the factories. It's made in the shops, and the shops only produce one item at a time, whereas the factories produce all items at a time, right? So in a sense, you have to go with what you have accumulated at the end of the day. If you can produce 40 smoothies, if you produce one smoothie every 24 minutes, right? And you produce one donut every 36 minutes, okay? You can make 40 smoothies in one day if you have 40 melons. That's where people get it wrong. You don't have 40 melons. How are you going to make 40 melons? You can't. So if you have the melons, then fine. But if you don't, then you're going to want to go with flour. And so people look at these charts that are provided for people and they think, oh, it has the highest per minute value, therefore it must turn the highest profit. And that's not the case. Just because it has the higher per minute value doesn't necessarily mean it's going to turn the highest profit. You got to look at what you have accomplished at the end of your day. Now, you also have to look at, and this is what was the reason it was so hard to make this guide was it wasn't hard to make the level 18 guide. That one was pretty easy. It got hard because of all of the options. By making this in this shop, you cut profits in this shop, right? So essentially what we had to do was we had to cut a little bit of profit everywhere to make more money in the end than saying, okay, you make this much money making this one item, but you lose out on all these other items. And so when I see the global market flooded with things like cheese fries and burgers, I'm sitting there going, why? And if you look really, really, really closely, you also look at the demand. And so you look at how the global market is, how it works. And if you look really close, all the high profit items sell the fastest because they're the most desired. And why is that? Because the game asks for them, right? So nails, for example. Nails are the highest profitable item in the game, right? Nobody really makes them, which is surprising because as a level 18 player, if you have all 11 slots unlocked, you only have to check on your game every 49.5 minutes to refill it with nails. How many people are on their game in an hour? Quite a few, right? Quite a few. How quick do nails sell? Really quick, right? Why is that? Because the game asks for them all the time. Donuts. Do you know how quick I'm going to sell these donuts? They're going to fly right off the shelf. Do you know how long I'm going to sit on trying to sell a burger? Yeah, it's going to be pure hell, right? So it really surprises me that you don't see more of the higher profitable items being sold. When you look at it, a lot of people just don't make them. And it, again, really surprises me. I don't understand that. What do you mean, why do people even bother making donuts? Because they're the highest, what? Now you've lost me. If you calculate up everything that you can produce, you're going to make more money doing this. And you also have, like I said, you also have to take into consideration other stores. For example, okay, I was going to say, you had me really like, what? So anybody here who hasn't picked up the production guide, if you click on our Facebook group, the link to that is on there in the announcement section. But if you're not on Facebook, any one of my playlists has the 14-minute epic video. And on that video, if you click the description, there is a link to every single one of my guides. And the production guide itself, if you guys are level 18 players, the part of the production guide that you're going to want to look at is actually near the bottom. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you guys something super quick here. Good night to Jeru or whatever your name is. Yes, chairs are profitable. That's the one you're going to want to make as a level 18 player. Okay. So that's the comm guide. Hang on just a second, you guys. Okay, there it is. Okay, so this here is our production plan, and I just want to show you guys something here for those of you who haven't seen it. So right here, we went through every shop, right? And we kind of explained to you guys what to make per shop, and then we show you guys the permanent value on each one of these items. Now, this right here is for a high-level player. This is for a level 61 and above. Now, the reason it's 61 is because that's when you actually unlock all of the time discounts on the shops. But if you look really closely, on the building supply store, we gave you guys a couple of options depending on how often you're able to actually be on your game. Option 1 is going to be the best option, and that is to produce nails. Now, when we wrote this guide, we wrote it for a 18-hour or a 16-hour day to an 8-hour sleep. And we took it with a realistic mindset. We didn't say, oh, you can't actually find any of these items on the global market. So what we did was we said, okay, well, you know what? We want to be able to self-sustain every single thing that we need to make here. This right here is just what we know for a fact that you can produce on your own without having to buy anything on global, right? Then you increase the amount by tens of thousands the moment that you are able to purchase stuff on global. Certain things that you should never sell and certain things that you should always buy, right? Which I have also provided you guys with that list in the guide. Now, a lot of you guys sell the wrong stuff. Or after an epic project, you sell a lot of your stuff, which you should not do. You want to essentially, anytime that you find certain items like cement and glue, okay, as a high-level player, if you have a feeder, for example, a lot of you guys probably see cement and glue all the time and never buy it. That's something you should buy like crazy because you should be making gnomes in your garden supply store. Now, what is this? Was if you look at the PMV, which is PMV buy, what does that mean? That means permanent value when you purchase the materials is going to be different than when you actually produce the materials, right? So we had to take that into consideration as well, that certain items turn a higher profit when the materials are purchased, right? Materials are more easily obtainable than others. So, for example, sugar. We can cut out 4 hours worth of the production if we just buy the damn sugar, those items that we're not making later. Now, looking at the profit here, where the profit is higher on something else like cement, but you're not thinking about how many of those items you're producing in the same amount of time that you would produce something profit, but it's also being made in 4 minutes versus 48 minutes, right? So you're making, 12 nails in the amount of time it takes you to make 1 glue, or 10 nails in the amount of time it takes you to make 1 cement. So, I mean, you got to look at it like that too, So you got to take all this shit into consideration. Now, the whole point in me showing you guys this is when you guys do your contest to mayor's assignments, how many people here just run tokens and don't know how many they're actually able to produce on a token? We were nice enough to say, you know what, we're going to provide people with a chart so that they'll be able to know exactly what they need to make and how many of it. So this chart here is the token chart. So essentially what this does is this is the amount of items you can make in a 1 hour time period. Okay. So every token in the game runs for 1 hour. You're going to find whatever shop you have. So that's all this column here is. The very top column says hour production hour base, right? So this is the base level shop. The first 3 columns is base level, meaning no star upgrades. If you have a 1-star shop, then you're going to be in the 10% category. If you have a 2-star shop, you're going to be in the 15% category. And if you have a 3-star shop, you're going to be in the 20% discount, right? And I put that right there. It says 10% is 1-star, 15 is 2-star. Okay? So let's say that you have a 3-star shop. So you're in the 20%, right? This is, and the phone version is really crappy. On the version that you guys are going to see, it'll look a little bit better. But this is the times 12 discount for the token. Then it does silver and bronze. That's why it says 2 times, 4 times, 12 times. So essentially, all that matters to us with a 3-star shop is the last 3 columns, right? So if we run a bronze token on a 3-star shop on any one of these items, that's how many we can make. So nails on a token gives us 180 nails in 1 hour. Okay? So if you have a 1-star shop, then you would go to the 1-star times 12 and you would make 53 nails in 1 token. Now you can get those done immediately and go, okay, I know that I need to make X amount of TVs, and I know that I can produce X amount of TVs on X amount of tokens. Or waste a gold one when you should have just used silver. Vice versa. But that's my point. So when you look at it like that and you say, okay, a 3-star shop with a 4 times token on nails is 60 nails, right? You make 3 times as many nails on a gold token. So would you rather have silver tokens or gold tokens? Would you rather produce 180 nails or 60 nails? That is an excellent way to get money. Now, take the 180 nails that you make on a gold token and multiply it by however much you sell a nail for, which is 80 coins, right? So 80 times however many nails that you make, and that is the amount of profit that you're going to make from producing that. Now, that's a hell of a profit for 1 hour, right? Same with the donuts and so forth. So that's how you read this guide. And like I said, I do have videos where I go through and I explain this a little better with a better chart. But that's what this part of the guide is used for, okay? So once you know what type of shop you have, essentially you can cross off all the other columns if they confuse you or whatever. But this column up here, the PMV buy, the mats is the materials, what they cost if you add up all the materials, and then the profit after you sell the item. So essentially, we provided you guys with all the data that you would need and some. Okay? Now, there's no excuses for anybody to be broke. Make the right items and you won't be broke. But how do you run this type of production guide when you're playing the contest? You can't. Okay? And that is exactly my point. So when I was talking to you guys about when you're broke, right? And I said that there's going to be times when you run your production a specific way when you make money. So when I was telling you guys, one of the most common mistakes that people make is they try to run their production the same way every day. You guys get into these habits where you're like, okay, I'm going to fill my shop with the same item every day. I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to fill my shop with the same item every day. You can't really do that if you want to be successful, because you have different ways you're going to run your shops based off what you're doing. If you're playing calm, you're going to run your shops differently than if you're going for maximum profits, right? So another big mistake that people make is they fill their shops with the items that take the longest to produce. For example, you level 18 players. How many people here make melons at night? Because they take the longest. But if you sat down and you did the math, you would know that you lose money. You lose money by doing that. If you were to produce 11 flour as a level 18 player, your shop would run out of time. It runs for 4.5 hours, I think, as a level 18 player. And if you do the math, you can produce roughly about, I think it's $3,600 in melons. But you actually get a lot more than that if you produce flour, right? So do the math on it and see what you would end up with if you were to produce melons or flour. How many people make beef? Big mistake. Now, the only time I make beef is right before an epic project. If I can't find them, I just make them and I run tokens on them, right? But essentially, that's the whole point. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys, is that that's where item management comes in. Do you think that when my epic project is done, I'm just going to unload all my stuff, all my hard to get items? No, that's foolish. So this is what everybody does when their epic projects are done. They go, okay, now I need coin. I'm broke and I need coin. So they sell off all their shit. And then they end up having to make all of the items that don't produce a high profit to bring back their inventory. When if they would have played their cards correctly, they would have went, you know what? I'm going to keep my hard to get inventory, the stuff that doesn't turn a high profit. I'm going to make items that produce a good profit and keep the hard to get items. Instead, what you did was you gave yourself a temporary amount of coin, in a sense, because now you got to turn around and make something that produces less money to replace what you just sold, which was foolish, right? So a lot of it really stems down to just making the right decisions. And that's where, when you start adding up all these mistakes that you guys are making, they really hurt you, you know? So, okay, now you're selling off all your good stuff. Now you're making all the wrong stuff. You're building houses and bulldozing them. And you start adding up all these mistakes that you do. And is it really surprising that you're barely able to keep your head above water? No. So then you stop and you think, okay, how's the best way to go about this? What's the smartest thing I could do? And that is when you start to see a huge difference in gameplay. You're going to notice, hey, wait a minute here. I'm not struggling anymore. I can do these epics in 10 minutes. I cannot be broke. I don't have to sell my inventory. You know, I'm sitting here with 56,000 coins, and you know what I could do if I wanted? This. Hang on. Okay, sorry, the stream went unstable. But what I could do if I wanted to, saying that I hadn't filled up this shop. Yeah, okay. So in 2 hours, let's just say for the purpose of the video, if I wanted to bulldoze this and spend my only $50,000 on a factory, I could. Why? Because what do I need coins for? Inventory? I already have it. You know, I don't really need to buy anything right now. And you know what's funny is a lot of this shit, I could make my money right back. I can just run tokens. I mean, did you guys see how much flour I have? I have 138 flour right now. I've just been producing flour like crazy. I've got 21 donuts already. So what do you think I'm going to be doing all day long? I'm going to be running donuts all day long on gold. And I have a batch of text making right now, which I'm going to be running flour. Essentially, though, you guys, would it be intelligent of me to sell my bread rolls? No, it would not. That would be stupid. Because if I can buy cream, I can turn those into ice cream. Or I can save them for when I need them for my epic project. Now, I'm certainly not going to sell the melons because those have a higher benefit to me if I produce them into pink lemonade bottles. They're going to turn a much higher profit, right? So you guys just got to play more efficiently and plan better is all. And you'll have a much easier time. And don't stress about coins so damn much. Because they're easy to get back. Especially when you start selling the right stuff. You know? And if you're having trouble selling stuff, you can always drop the price a couple cents like that. You know? I'll probably just fill this thing up with donuts. as time goes on. If anybody wants these, if you're on my friends list, if you see anything in here that you want or need, let me know, because I'm selling all this garbage that I don't need. Let me check up on your guys' chat here. Okay, so any questions? And like I said, if you guys need a copy of the production guide, it is in that playlist. And this is why you guys should not sell your textiles. Anytime you see them, buy them. Okay? Anytime you have any, extra gold tokens or whatever, run them on flour. I'm prepping for my epic for the next couple of days. I've got a lot of items I have to prep in order to do an epic, so... Also, if you guys have tokens uncollected on top of the houses, try to not do that, because it's just as bad as letting them run out. I try really hard to make sure that I collect these. I mean, if you're like way over the threshold, then don't do it. But if it's only a couple, then definitely try to burn through them a little bit. Okay. Okay, well, what do you mean to sell? Sell for what? To what's the best items to produce to make money? So, I'm just going to list the items that you guys want to make as, okay, so as a level 18 or high level player, you want to produce flour all day and night as a level 18 player, okay? All day, all night. As a higher level player, you want to produce flour and melon at night. Okay, just a couple melons at night. Donuts, you're going to work around the clock no matter what level player you are. You should be making donuts 24/7, okay? When you make this your building supply store, if you have the opportunity to fill your shops up with nails and you can sit on the game that much, making nails is going to be your most profitable item in this shop. If you don't, then make cement, okay? This shop here, you're going to produce quite a bit of hammers and tape. You're going to take the tape and the hammers, and you're going to produce chairs all the time, and then you're going to produce blue text. These are also high profit. So chairs and blue text. The items in this shop, you're going to make gnomes as a higher level player, or if you can buy the shovels, if you can get a steady supply of shovels that you can purchase, make grass, okay? This shop here, you're going to want to make pink lemonade bottles. If you have extra flour and you've purchased the cheese and the beef, make pizza. If you've been able to purchase the bread rolls and the cream, make ice cream bars. Do not make burgers, okay? This shop right here is really easy. You're going to make you're going to make caps around the clock, okay? 24/7, all you make is caps. This one's going to yield an $18,000 income every 24 hours. This shop right here is going to yield $38,000 worth of income every 24 hours as a higher level player. As a lower level player, you're going to get $30,400 every 24 hours making donuts. Now, this shop is really easy. You can do either one of these. TVs turn the higher profit, then there's bulbs. Now, here's the thing with this. Bulbs require chemicals, whereas TVs require the same materials, but they require plastic. So you can either make 12 TVs in a 24-hour period, or you can make bulbs, which really, honestly, it's like pennies of difference. It's not much difference between bulbs and TVs. It's just a matter of what product is easier for you to obtain. I'm more of a fan of making the TVs because I have a harder time obtaining chemicals, being how I make quite a bit of cement. Okay, so hopefully that answered your question. The items that you want to sell, you don't want to sell anything that's hard for you to obtain or something that you could make money on. So essentially, if you're making quite a bit of nails, sell them. You should be selling any nails, donuts, things like that. It would be really stupid to sell backpacks and ladders and popcorn, stuff that takes a long time to make and doesn't turn a high profit. Okay, don't sell rares. That's a given, right? Don't sell war items either. What you guys should be doing is you guys should be launching your war items to get war cards so that you can win Mega. Because you're going to need those war cards to earn points on that VU pass, right? You can join in. Let's see. Let me see if we have room. If you are on the game, hang on. Give me just a second here. All right, if you're on the game right now, go ahead and join in. We do have one spot open. Once you join in, introduce yourself so we know who you are, and explain if you have or have not watched the group rules video. Burgers are the worst item that you can make. Okay, I don't know if you were here for that. I'm pretty sure you were here for that speech. They not only cost you money in a sense, but they take away from every other shop. Okay, so you got to think for just a minute. Every time you make spatulas, you're taking away from those shops, and every time you make a barbecue, you're not making TVs, right? Which the TVs you're selling. Now, if you look at the production guide, we list exactly how much money you're going to make running our production guide. Now, as a higher level player, we're yielding over, I think it's 146,000 on just the items that we're in these shops. That doesn't include everything. It's in the production guide, but it doesn't include several hours worth of factory time that we left open for you guys. We left open quite a bit of time in the fast food shop and the garden supply store because we were unable to build enough shovels to run the garden store full time for lower level players. Now, that depends on which option you choose for the building supply store. But if you look at what essentially you want to do, if you're going by a system, during the week, you're going to be playing the contest to mayors, right? So on the day off from the contest, you want to run the production guide for maximum profits. Now, we go through and we not only gave you guys a chart, but we explained in detail which items to produce based off what level that you are. So, essentially, we did the hard work for you guys, right? Okay, you guys, I'm in a really bad service area, so I'm going to run in here and get my keto energy shot, and then I will be back, okay? So, give me about, I don't know. Okay, hold on. When do you unlock your shop slots? So, you should unlock them very early on in the game, right? If you're following the Missy's Building Guide, you're going to want to okay. You guys, I have a really bad connection. I'm going to answer both of your guys' questions in about 10 minutes when I get back, okay? So,